turn 1, Sebring. Going to get back up against the wall to the right. Under the bridge, we're going to squeeze on about a number 7 or 8 brake. Probably drop 1 gear in whatever you're driving. Trail the brake about a car length in. Pick the throttle back up. And now start looking for your paint. We're going to intercept this yellow line. Used to be yellow. And the cone and the fence there is our apex. So you'll be right up against the wall. Now, this angle tells us whatever power I haven't added, I can finish. Just go ahead and roll the power in. That's a track out, pretty late track out on the curb here. Glance at your tach or your speedometer to tell you how well you've done it. Turn 2 is really not a turn, just a little kink. We're going to get back to the right so we can brake firm, a number 9 or 10 brake pedal, and straight. Going to drop another gear. There's a little pointer cone right there, and that pointer cone tells us when I bend it in, I want my steering wheel over this point where the concrete has been patched. There's a nice little square right here in the corner. The steering wheel goes over that. Now our eyes get into the left apex, and we're going to pretend we put a cone, an apex cone, at the end of the curb here on the left. So with an apex cone right there, now we only let the car go about halfway across the road and pretend that apex cone is about 5 feet from the end of this curb. That will straighten us up for a nice braking zone between turn 4 here and turn in for 5. And there's a white PVC pipe out in that field that we sort of aimed the car for. It's very easy to turn in too early here. Late turn in, there's our turn in cone. We get our eyes across, we trail, it's only just a brush of the brake, trail the brake just enough to rotate the car, let it rotate for a moment, pretend you put a nice long late apex cone in the field here, and we want to intercept the curve, but don't touch it very late in this corner. Because the minute we get here, the road starts falling off. It's very off camber out there. Look at all the dark rubber. You want to be shallow of the dark rubber so that we can be unwinding our steering and heading toward full throttle. You can run up on this curb at the exit, but don't drop across it. So many guys drop across it or lift at the exit and wind up adding to all that archaeology back to the left. Check your tach or speedometer at the end of that curve, or at least by the bridge up here. That's the carousel, turn 5. Third longest straightaway, heading down to the hairpin. And tractor. Usually he's not here. So coming down the left lane, actually, I've taken my left foot and tapped the brake a time or two to be sure they're working. And we're going to slowly work our brake point down. Start way before the 4 and then slowly work it down. Notice all the skid marks here. This is highest braking zone on the track. Plus, it's a little wavy. If you make a mistake here, we've got room to go straight. This is turn 7, a hairpin turn. Notice how late this turn in is. Way over here to the left. Turn with the brake on. Get your eyes in the corner, off the brake, let it roll a foot or two, and now roll the power in. You want to be right up against the yellow curb. That gets us the best radius, and that is the smoothest part of the track, even though it feels bumpy here. These are progressive curbs, so you want to be on the outside edges. Same thing here. You can go ahead and run the outside edge and straighten the car out a little bit. If you're going back to second, it's a quick upshift to third, whatever you're driving. We can run third in the MX-5s. And this is all flat out. I'll run a Bluebird bus through here. This is flat out through what's called 8 and 9. Give it its head, and you get back over for your braking zone so you can brake nice and straight. Another threshold brake for turn 10. Good threshold brake. Shut her down. Late turn in, that laid down cone right there. Late turn in. Get your eyes in the corner. Trail the brake. We're going to go up the throttle fairly quickly here if we can to pick the throttle up. Pretty good grip here at the apex. But then once we begin to track out, it starts getting off camber again. Most of the time you'll use all the road. If this is the least bit damp, it's extremely slick. It's easy to spin the tires here. This is so polished. If it rains, get over on the outside edge. But down here in the middle, just is flat out. Coming to turn 13, the tower turn, and we're going to approach that on a diagonal, which means no point in getting over to the left. We're going to brake straight toward the curb, and it's only about a number 6 or 7 pedal. Drop a gear. Again, notice where the concrete patch comes together, where that seam is. I'm probably going to run, my right tire just inside that seam to the right. And that tells me I'm going to be on time for a late apex here. Fairly late. It's a lot of camber, so the car continues to turn for a moment. Stay off that curb, it bounces the car. So we got a lot of camber gain until right here. Now it starts dropping off, but by now we're trying to unwind the steering anyway. You can run the first 3 or 4 inches of the exit curve. Just don't let it drop over there. Now getting back to the right, coming up to Bishop's Bend, turn 14. That's going to be virtually flat out in anything. We're going to turn at the end of this curb on the right, bend it in, run across maybe 6 inches of the apex, let it float all the way to the outside, but stay on the asphalt part of this. We're still flat out. Then once you get your hand straight, you can do about a number 6 or 7 brake. Probably going to drop a gear, late turn in. Eyes over here. Now there's a big camber gain here. We start climbing literally the crown of the runway. So we don't trail the brake too long because the front tires get to the crown first and they start steering better than the rears. So you can over-rotate the car here if you're not careful. We're back on throttle and we're going to run along, about a car length and a half at apex here in 15. We should be able to pick up a fair amount of throttle. In a lot of cars we're flat now, but depends on the car. A lot of throttle through here. If you make a mistake, look over in that field. We got acres and acres of room to roam around. So we are virtually flat, or trying to get flat, running hard up to 16. Now this is our longest straightaway, so we've got to be we got to have the car shut down, have it calm down, probably drop a gear in most cars. But the key is it's only about a number 4 or 5 squeeze brake, so that we're going to get our eyes over into a fairly late apex, off the brake by now, touching the gas by now, and now trying to get our eyes all the way toward the exit. We'd like to get our right tires right on the yellow line, just barely kissing the rumbles. Now stare at the exit. I want to get a good run out of here. And ideally, I don't really want to get on the curb, but if I need to, I can get on the first 6 inches of it or get on all of it. The 2 outside edges are the smoothest and lets the car accelerate. If you're pinching the car to stay on the road here, it's going to want to hook back to the inside. So look out here in the field where we put an aim here cone. If you make a mistake there, aim out there. Just relax your throttle some, relax your steering some. It won't be a big deal. Check your tach, your speedometer at the exit of the rumbles back there. 73 in an MX-5 with BF Goodrich Comp 2 tires. Flat out down the back straightaway. I'm going to test my brake, put my pads where they belong with my left foot. And then coming to 17, sneak up on this. We're going to come down to probably where the 3 brake markers, which is the second white hash mark. Going to probably bend it in here, staring at the very edge of the curb. Or wall, at the wall. And as we head toward the wall, we're probably going to be braking to begin with somewhere in here. And we're going to slowly move that down. For a moment, with that little bit of early turn in, we have fairly straight hands to be able to really get on the brake pedal. And if you need to, drop a gear. Now, as you get the gear dropped and the clutch out, we're now going to start looking to the right to see when can I get rid of the brake pedal. This is the world's largest hairpin. It's a Type 2 entry, which is an entry speed corner, and a Type 1 exit, which is an exit speed corner. So I want to see how soon I can get off the brake and start touching the gas by now, looking down on the road to see where you'd like to be. On paper, we want to be up against the wall, but it's so bumpy over there you don't want to be. There's a big blue dot on the bridge up there that I'm probably going to wind up with the car under it. I picked my throttle up now. I'm probably adding a lot of throttle by now. Finishing that last bump there, and now I'm looking around the corner and I should be back on the floor in most cars by now. Not a definitive apex here. Wherever the car would like to go is fine. wouldn't be too much more to the left of this, but you don't need to be down on the grass there. Staring toward your wall of death at the outside edge, the tire wall. You can let it wander all the way out there. Just got to get back at the Michelin Pilot Sport All Season 3 bridge. Just get back. Check your mirrors. If someone has been behind you in 17, good chance he may be to your right now, because we're going to wander back across the straightaway and get back in the right lane under the Chevy bridge. And again, once we run under the bridge, probably going to squeeze on the brake, drop a gear, eyes in a corner, trail the brake to here, touch the gas here, and notice we're not inside any of that yellow line yet. We're not inside the yellow line until we're approaching the apex, that cone in the wall. Now I can just keep adding the rest of my power as I'm relaxing my hands. A little bumpy there, but a lot of grip. Ignore the skid marks over there, that's for the school course. Turn 3, shut her down in a straight line, probably gonna drop 1 gear, looking for the point of the concrete, eyes to a late apex, get the car left some, don't let it wander across the road yet, flick it back here. This is pretty well flat out. Nice, like just a brush of the brake, looking for your PVC pipe, looking to the left, touching the gas, and rolling it in progressively. The better this looks. More power, should be flat by now, and then check your speed or tack, either at the end of the curb or at the bridge here. Flat out on the way to 7 to the hairpin. Check your mirrors if you wander across the road. We'll check my brake lights for a second. Okay, I braked it to 4 last time. I think I'm gonna go down to about to 3.5. That's pretty easy. Probably gonna get down to 2nd in a lot of cars. Eyes in the corner, now trail the brake, roll the power back in, use right up against the yellow curb. You can use the left apex there. Flat out through the S's. Turns 8 and 9. You could be a little vague in here. You got lots of road. Got more road than car, probably. Use all your road. I'm wider than I need to be there. I was changing hands. Get back over to the left square so you can brake hard for turn 10. Late turn in, eyes in, trail the brake, roll the power in early. Add your speed. And as soon as your hands are straight, look down at your gauges, see what kind of speed you've carried to there to see if you're working on it. We should be able to run flat through here in just about anything if it's dry. Heading to the tower turn on a diagonal. Brake straight, probably going to drop 1 gear, eyes in, there's your seam, trail the brake, roll the power, look to the exit, there's our tractor. We had to be here somewhere. Let it track out. Pretty good passing zone here. Just check your mirrors. Unfortunately, we've got to come across the track, and I'm going to slow down because he may not know I'm here. Yeah, he does. We're good. We're going to turn in at where the road comes in, run a little bit of the blue and white curbing, teeny bit. Use all your road. Stay on the asphalt. When your hands are straight, you can brake straight, probably going to drop a gear, eyes into the apex, trail the brake, touch the gas fairly early, just keep adding power. I like to look down right now to see what I've done with my speed, to be honest with you, and then pick the power up hard as you can. Now roll out the gas, squeeze on the brake, maybe drop a gear, eyes in the corner, trail out the brake, touch the gas, and that happens quicker than I can say it. A light touch of the rumble there. We're going to use a little edge of this, and at the exit I'm going to look at my speedo or my tack, whatever works for you. Yeah, with data in the car, I like a big giant speedometer. So I'm glancing down a lot, seeing if I'm improving or not. Flat out down the back straightaway. Turn 17, my favorite corner. We're going to bend it in at the 3 cones. We're going to brake pretty hard across the apex. We're going to drop a gear. We're now looking to the right. We're off the brake. We're touching the gas. We're looking for the blue dot on the bridge, and we're out of here. Just stare at the outside edge, take it to the wall. Well, short of the wall. We're going to come into pits this lap, however, because the tractor guy was on the phone, probably calling the cops. Good luck. Thank you very much.